Hi Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading. I know it has taken me a little bit longer this week to download this video, but Mama Star is busy. I've been quite busy. I guess what matters is that I'm here now and looking forward to once again provide you with all the messages that the Oracle has for you to help you bring the clarity and the peace of mind that we all deserve. I want to thank everyone who has been subscribing to my channel and has been following me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this is your first time, I welcome you to the family. And I hope that you stick around and that you continue to come back as we move forward and see the channel grow. Also, keep in mind, Virgo, that this is not going to describe every situation out there. It's funny because sometimes, I get emails from people who are watching my video a month after I did it. And in that moment, they decided to hear what I had to say, and they're saying, oh my God, what you said was exactly what is happening to me now. So as you can see, time does not affect these readings. The messages are always there to help anyone who is going through a particular situation in any given moment, and all we need to do is just let ourselves be guided by spirit, and boom, we connect with the right information, with the right energy. Okay, Virgo, so let's begin. So in this particular cycle, Virgo, I don't know what's going on with some of you, but I see that, like maybe you are too much in your head and you're trying to figure everything out, analyzing the situation, and it's not working. Okay, it could also be that many of you are busy, are working very hard, and you're exhausting yourself. Maybe you're not taking enough time to rest, and that's making you cranky or is making you moody. And when we're moody, we tend to react. We tend to overreact sometimes. And I see here that the energy that is representing the Virgos that I'm connecting with comes with the hyena. And if you look at this card, I would not mess around with this hyena. I would definitely not put my finger in this hyena's mouth, because it will bite me and it will definitely I may just lose a finger. So I don't know what is happening right now, Virgo, if maybe the alignment that is taking place with the planets this year is really getting to you. I made a video in Spanish about a special situation that is happening with the 10th house of astrology, where there are a bunch of planets that are coming together and reuniting in that house to make an effect. And with Virgo, it's going to be a very positive thing. And this is an event that hasn't happened for over 2,000 years. So I think I need to make that video in English so you guys get updated and know what to do, because this is a very important alignment that is taking place, and it would be really important, Virgo, that you start chilling and cultivating patience, my friends, so that as this alignment fully happens, especially Mars is entering into the conference or the party or whatever you want to call it, February the 17th. Okay, so our planet, our avatar, is going retrograde, and Mars is entering in the 10th house and joining with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. So as you can see, it's quite a situation that is happening during this year, and specifically for 6 weeks in Capricorn in this month, at the end of this month. And then we just passed through the full moon, right? So it's just insane. So I'm not surprised if a lot of you are feeling very sensitive, very touchy, and you are quite clear about what you want, but at the same time, you're overwhelmed, you're overworked, and you feel like you don't have enough time for yourself to enjoy yourself. And this is when the Spirit says, hey, Virgo, take some deep breath, man. Just chill and don't try to fix everything all at once, because it's not going to happen, okay? And if you have finally come to that place where you're letting go completely and releasing the past, and then you have to change gears and give a break to your material mechanisms so that can adjust. You got to talk to it. You got to soothe it. Otherwise, you're going to get into this space that, where the hyena is showing up here, like sarcastic, right? Maybe some of you are, maybe some of you are not. But I can see here that, with hyena, we're being very social, but witty. And sometimes sarcastic. And sometimes maybe a little bit too upfront or aggressive, because you're just making sure that people are not coming to, fill you up with a bunch of bullshit. It's like, not happening. What I like about it is that with that hyena, zebra, there is another aspect of you that is playing out as the zebra. And zebra is a very positive, gentle energy. And he talks about, a visionary, very creative force, very, like maybe some of you are feeling like buying new clothing and expressing in a very different style than what you've been doing before. You're wanting to express yourself in a different way. You want to be perceived differently. Like you're going through a shift there. But, with Gemini here, we're talking about the two faces of Eve, where there is an aspect that is very positive, but the other one is not. And Spirit is saying, hey, Virgo, at the end of the day, remember equilibrium, my friends. Equilibrium is the key, okay, in all of this. So don't try to resolve the world in one day, because it's not going to happen. Don't try to say yes to everything, because in that moment you're having a good moment, and later find out that you don't have enough power or enough, fuel to back it up. Okay? A lot of times when we do that, we start getting frustrated, and then with time, we become caught up in our mind. And this is what the King of Swords do. The attitude of this king is that it tends to get involved in too many things at once. And then things don't work out. And we start becoming critical. We start, becoming judgmental. We start, sort of regretting or being unsure or uncertain. So let's just chill, Virgo, and breathe. So I can see here that, you're going through a cycle where there's somewhat of a sensitivity, and very possible is because of all of the things that I said. But could also just be this alignment that is taking place with all of these different planets. Okay, so we know that Pluto represents death, Saturn, karma, but also options for rejuvenation. And Jupiter comes to bless the day with new ideas. Now Mars is going to enter the party February of 17th of this year, and is going to stay until March 31st. And of course, Mars is coming to help with the situation, but remember, he's the god of war. So if we are not finding the things that makes us feel calm, Virgo, we can create resistance. And this particular alignment that is taking place is very beneficial for Virgos, because it's the time where we can focus our energy and our power in a positive way that will help us create a foundation for things to come. And if you, my friend, are too caught up in the mind, in the analytical mind, or you're frustrated or impatient, all of that time, it can be wasted. Because what you will be planting is a lot of resistance that eventually will play out not in the best of ways, and it can definitely affect you in a big way. This can be where, you may lose a job, you may get into a conflict with your boss, with a family member, with your kids, and, say things that later you will regret, and it will create a mark on that person, but you as well, for the rest of your life. So we want to avoid conflict this time around. And with this energy here of the King of Swords in the heart of the reading, and the Seven of Swords on one side with Justice on the other side, we have to be very careful, because we can get into conflicts, arguments, or fight that can be a legal matter where we have to go to court and we may not win, okay? I mean, we can lose money, we can lose friendship, we can lose our family. So be careful, okay, Virgo? And when I say be careful, it's not to install fear. I don't believe in fear. I believe fear is a virus that corrupts our consciousness. This is so that you are prepared, because 2020 is going to be a rough year. Too much going on in the house of Capricorn, which is the 10th house. And this all has to do with the things that we are going to do, the structures we're going to create at a, social level, worldwide, okay? There are too many things that we've been doing for thousands of years that have not worked, and it's not working. And all of those things, as you can see, have been coming out to the surface. The corruptions with our politicians, with our leaders, the contamination of the air, the contamination of the water, of the food. And now we have these epidemics that people are freaking out. And it's like, but wait a minute. I mean, we have done a lot of things that are weakening our immune system. So of course we're going to have issues with our health. But it doesn't mean that we have to abide by that fear and think that because this epidemic is happening right now, that we're dying just because, things are going wrong. It doesn't happen that way. So, here Spirit is saying, hey Virgo, just chill and breathe and relax, my friends. And, we understand your frustration, but right now, something that is rare is happening and is going to benefit you in a big way. So let's, surrender to that energy so that we can finally create the foundations for our life to come. I see here that with the Emperor energy, okay, we could be dealing with someone in our life that could be either a family member, someone in authority that right now is challenging us. It could also be that it has to do with a relationship with someone who is stable or provided the stability for you, and you're having an issue with that person. For some of you, could also be that you will be attracting the support of a family member during this time of change. Could also very well be that you will meet with someone, or you have attracted someone that is, has a very good job, is successful, and they have connected to you, Virgo. And this is where Spirit is saying, hey, Yes, this person is all of that. But be careful and be cautious with chameleons, okay? With shapeshifters. Because a lot of times people come with their, story, pretending and talking about one thing and being another. And this is what you want to avoid. Be careful with the people in your family who are trying to help you, but in the way they're doing it, they're trying to get you to compromise as the means for them to help you. And Spirit is saying, don't fall for that trap, okay? But just make sure that when you set the boundaries or when you put the cards on the table, avoid resistance, avoid confrontations, because Mars is the god of thunder, is the god of war. And yes, he's coming to Capricorn to help and to give us a push and give us a boost, because he also represents our passions, our inspiration, our creativity. But if we are too aggressive, it could also create conflict. And we don't want to spend all of our time dealing with aggression or obstacles that sometimes are not even ours. Just remember that this alignment with the planets is not just for Virgos. This is for everyone. But in the way it's going to affect us is going to be in a positive ways. With other signs, it may be different. So as for you, maybe something good, for somebody else, maybe something bad. And there's a lot of people out there, Virgo, that do not know that this is happening. So you may find that, you're minding your own business and all of a sudden you bump into someone who is going through a really bad day. And it just happens that you're in the wrong time, in the wrong moment, and they, have it out with you. But it has nothing to do with you. And we ended up, responding. And now we are creating a problem. We're making it our own. It's so funny because, yesterday when I went to work, I was listening to this kid talking to somebody else. And he was telling him how he had taken the bus not long ago. No, it was the train. He was in the train, and all of a sudden this guy who looked quite nice started to argue with him, and they ended up fist fighting. And he was so upset because of the way the guy treated him that he got out of the train and followed him to continue to fight him. You know what I mean? And I was listening to the conversation because he was talking quite loud. So it's not that I was interested in what he was saying. It's just that he was talking so loud that anybody could hear him. But I'm thinking, wow, so here he is saying, like, this guy looked really nice, but all of a sudden he just responded in a way that was odd, and he went for it. So, we have to be careful being caught up in situations like that when we see here the King of Swords next to the Seven of Swords. Of course, the lack of direction here, because the sun is coming upside down, Virgo. So that tells me that in the state of mind that you're finding yourself right now, it's like you're quite indecisive of what to do. It's like you know what you want to do, you know what you want to achieve, but this time around you're kind of not sure of how to do it. And that maybe is making you a little frustrated. Maybe because you may not have the finances or the options to change. And maybe what you want to change is your career. Maybe, you want to move to a different state. Maybe you want to move to a different place. Maybe you want to get away from the situation that you're in and don't know how. So all of those things can be causing this energy, this attitude, where in return is making you respond with other people in a way that may not necessarily be the best of ways, and that can be creating friction that can very well get in the way once Mars enters into Capricorn. So Spirit is saying, take it easy, Virgo. Relax, breathe, drink a lot of water, because we have to take care of our circulation here, our nerve system, take care of your, for the female, reproductive organs, for the male, the heart. Okay, I would say general. The energy that right now that is affecting you in this reading is Gemini, which tells me that this is all about communication. So the basics of your focus right now is how you express yourself. You have to be very conscientious of how you're doing that. As you know, Gemini symbolizes the twins, the two faces of Eve, the good and the bad. So we have to be very careful. This also talks about having a very strong social life, or trying to have one, or getting to know new people. It's all about to do with communication. But as you know, Virgo, or maybe you don't, when Mars enters in Capricorn to meet Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, our planet Mercury is going retrograde. And you may say, oh, come on, seriously? Well, it's true that when any planet is going backwards, it tends to create a sense of agitation. And people worries when Mercury is in retrograde, because that means that communication is going to be poor. This is a time where, we may say something and people understand it differently, and vice versa. This is a time where we don't want to sign any legal contracts because people change their mind. This is a time where we don't want to, believe everything we hear, because people may just do that, change their mind. And this is also a time when Saturn, which is going to be visiting his own house, can bring a lot of crap, of imbalances that we've created over time, into the present moment. But of course, all of this is the opportunity that you will have to harmonize it, to finally bring the equilibrium that you need to, in order to advance, in order to move forward. So we have to be very mindful during this 6 weeks, and I would say from the moment we had the full moon, because we know that we had a full moon in Leo, and Leo relates to all of the things that truly matter to us, right? So, because it comes with the sun energy, right? The sun rules Leo. But here, the sun is upside down. So it tells me that some of you are struggling with the clarity. And it's kind of an interesting thing, okay? Because here, Virgo, you have justice. And justice in tarot is the energy that we use through the high priest, the high priestess. Our intuition, right? So we follow our intuition, and, we find our way. But a lot of times, we need vision. We need, to see a little bit ahead, or we like to, at least, to be able to know what to do. And I feel like some of you are struggling with that. So although you know exactly what you want in your life, how to go about it, you're not very clear. And the fact that you may not know, some of you may find that difficult to deal with. And that could also be, Virgo, another of the reasons of why you have here the King of Swords. So as you can see, Spirit is presenting different options of why you may have this state of mind. However, the one thing that Spirit is suggesting a great deal in this reading, during this cycle, is to cultivate patience. Cultivate tolerance and equanimity. Tolerance does not mean that you have to put up with other people's bullshit, nor it means that you're surrendering to what they're asking of you. It just means that you are going to respond to the situation differently. It means that you're going to choose your battles at this moment, and not all of them need to be dealt with. okay? Because as you're dealing with Gemini, and the ruler of Gemini, which is Mercury, is going to go retrograde, Saturn is in the picture, and the planet that rules, I'm sorry, Capricorn is in the picture, and the planet that rules Capricorn is Saturn. And Saturn is visiting his own home. So that means that during this time, especially throughout all of this year, but in specific, the end of this month and March, is going to feel very intense. Our emotions are becoming or will become very vivid. And for those of us who have not been able to handle or learn to work with our emotions, there are moments where we're going to feel frustrated, we're going to feel agitated, aggressive, emotional, insecure, all of these things. So be kind to yourself, be kind to your soul, but also to your physical body. And this is why Spirit is saying, drink water, breathe deeply, take walks in those moments that you need them, rest if you have to, make that a priority, because there are moments where you're going to feel that you have a lot of energy to do something, and there are other moments where you're going to crash. And it's very important that you give the rest to the body, because remember, all of these events that are happening vibrationally are also changing the energy of your body. And as your energy is realigning and your DNA is changing, water is going to help, just like oxygen. We have to help the body through these changes. And we don't want to end up in a hospital because we're having symptoms that we don't know what the heck they're about. You know, I myself, in the last months, you know, I've been going through the ascension symptoms for quite some times. And there are times when I feel great, and there are other times when I feel like crap. And, you know, there's been a lot of people getting the flu, and I got it for 48 hours. For 48 hours, I went under, and I swear to you, all I could do was sleep. I spent a whole day sleeping. And then after 48 hours, I was just fine. I was fine. I mean, I still have a little bit of, you know, mucus, but nothing major. But I could tell that it was just something, you know, and I haven't been with a cold in quite some time. So this was just like suddenly, it just came up from my throat chakra, which is the chakra that I've been working a lot since I started these videos. And I must have needed to spell something. And I mean, I just crashed. So be mindful, because this is all part of this vibrational readjustment that you're going through. So pay attention, be very conscientious of how you're expressing yourself. Make sure that you're not taking somebody else's frustration and limitations and challenges. Be honest and open and sincere with yourself above all things. And when you express how you feel with other people, just make sure that you do it in a mindful way. I see here someone who comes with a lot of passion. The person that you're dealing with or is interested in you, Virgo, this is someone who comes with Capricorn, which is the house that is having all of this, you know, situations going on. So with this person, they come with the Wheel of Fortune on one end, in the Seven of Wands on the other side. And the 7 is the energy of the Chariot. So this person is working on trying to figure out their thing, and they see you as part of this, hopes and dreams. So you feel, you definitely fill up one of their cups, but they're working something out, and I think they're trying to figure out what to do during this time. So I feel like with some of you, this is someone who has communicated, and they've told you how they feel, and you might have responded in a no, I don't want to, or maybe in an aggressive way, and they're kind of working that out. But they come with the energy of the chameleon and the shark. And these are two energies where one tells me that they're trying to adapt to the situation, but be careful, because these are people that can, pretend to be something that they're not, or they can promise something that they're not going to do. And with the shark, we know that the shark loves to go around their prey before they attack them. And I feel like this is someone who has, who's still keeping an eye on you, and they're kind of going around you trying to figure out how to get in. And if this is someone that you broke away from and you don't want anything to do with, I could see why you feel this way. But remember, all you have to do is trust your intuition. And your intuition will tell you how to respond if this person tries to play with you. Now, for some Virgos, I see that someone new is coming into the picture, and this is someone who comes with the Wheel of Fortune. They come wanting to make an offer that it's a positive thing, but still Spirit is saying to be cautious and don't let them try to talk you into anything that you do not believe to be true or to be right for you. Don't negotiate with your needs, and just relax. Because really, when you are dealing with your intuition, there is no need to feel agitated or judgmental, or carry all of that baggage that sometimes we do because of all the experiences that we've had before. I do see, Virgo, that all of that is going to change with the Ten of Cups. So something happens here that ultimately is going to be a positive outcome emotionally. But in the meantime, we have to be very aware of how our emotions are being expressed, how they are being worked with. And if you are questioning or wondering what you need to do or how you're going to do it, Spirit is saying, don't worry, because you will know. You will get a lot of help once Mars comes in the picture. It's like, and this is where I suggest that, go and find an astrologer on YouTube and listen to Virgo's astrology. There's a guy that I really, really like, and he talks about this event 2020. His name is Ronald Legrand. This guy is fantastic. And he did his readings last year with all of the signs. And I love the way he describes the situation, because you can tell, you can always tell when somebody knows what they're talking about. It's just the way they say things and they explain, you can tell. I really like this guy. He's written a lot of books about astrology, so I would recommend go and find him and listen to them, because it would really bring a lot of clarity for you as to how to respond during this time. Because I'm doing this reading in the week of Valentine's Day. So by the way, Virgo, happy Valentine's. And I would highly encourage you that on the day of Valentine, even if you don't have a Valentine, to go and have fun and enjoy and rejoice on the love that you have now found for yourself. And if you have a drink, have a toast on my name. I will do the same thing for you guys, because I really wish that, all of my followers succeed, that, you grow and expand in the way that you really are meant to succeed. And just remember that there's going to be a lot of ugly things that are going to continue to happen, but this is just the nature of, ascending. We're ascending vibrationally. And I know I've done a lot of videos in Spanish that I haven't done in English, but there's a lot of information in English that you can go and look for. We're ascending vibrationally. We're shifting, and we have shifted from a 3D to a 4th dimension reality, and we're going to a 5th. So it's not stopping. So part of the changes begin within ourselves. And then we have to do it at a collective level. And then we have to demonstrate it with the choices that we're making. And, we are regaining our connection with Mother Nature. So our attitude and our choices have to change, of course. And we are getting plenty of help from the planets. So let's just be good and choose our decisions, make our decisions wisely. So this is where, in Latin American countries, one of the ways that sometimes we can calm the energy down is through floral bath. A floral bath is very good. I would suggest, get some sage, parsley, and mint. Peppermint plants are even better, but it's easier to get mint than peppermint. And boil them in water, and then add your favorite cologne in it. There is a cologne that is called Florida water that is used a lot to help clean our aura. And get a bottle of that and bathe with that. That's very good to help clear away any negativity out of our aura. But of course, there's other ways. There's meditation. There is, you can use salt. You can use prayers. Whichever way works for you, it's all good. But just know that, you could do this type of, floral bath, and they're very beneficial and very calming and clear our mind. Because I feel like there's a lot of going on here that it's mind, logic, reasoning, that we're too much in our heads and not enough in our hearts. But I see you, Virgo, coming out of that, and then you will have the clarity. You'll know what to do. Okay, my dear friends, that's all I have for you. I wish you the best of lucks. Happy Valentine's, and I look forward to our next reading. I will see you next week, hopefully. So thank you for stopping by, and namaste.